Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of rare coins or just getting started on your coin collecting journey, you're in for a real treat today. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2009 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, specifically, the one that has no mint mark. It's a coin that's been causing quite a stir among collectors and could be worth far more than you think. So, what's the story behind this 2009 penny, and why could it be worth $1 million? Let's find out. Grab your magnifying glasses and let's dig into the details. Let's start with some context. The year 2009 marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The U.S. Mint decided to release a special series of pennies to honor the 16th President of the United States. These coins weren't just any regular pennies. They featured 4 different reverse designs, each symbolizing a pivotal moment in Lincoln's life, depicting the log cabin in which Lincoln was born in Kentucky, showing Lincoln reading a book by candlelight, representing Lincoln delivering the Gettysburg Address, symbolizing Lincoln's efforts during the Civil War. Now, if you look closely, each of these designs has something that sets them apart from the rest of the penny collection. But there's one important factor that collectors are most interested in: the mint mark. Normally, pennies have a mint mark. It's either a P for Philadelphia, an D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. However, in 2009, a strange thing happened. Some pennies that were supposed to come from the Philadelphia Mint did not have any mint mark at all. Yes, you heard that right, a penny from Philadelphia with no mint mark. So, what happened here? Well, it seems that due to a mistake or mishap during production, some of the pennies that were supposed to be minted in Philadelphia were not stamped with the usual P. But why is this such a big deal? Coins without mint marks are extremely rare, and when something is rare, its value often skyrockets. Since most 2009 pennies were minted with a mint mark, whether it be a P, D, or S, a penny from Philadelphia that doesn't have one is considered an error coin. And that error makes it highly sought after by collectors. When you consider how many pennies are made every year, the odds of finding one of these no mint mark coins are extremely slim. The US Mint doesn't provide an exact number of how many were minted without the mark, but estimates suggest it's only in the hundreds or possibly lower. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is one of the most important factors that drive the value. So, how much can this rare penny be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to own one, you're sitting on a potential goldmine. The value of the 2009 no mint mark penny varies based on its condition and whether it has been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A very fine or VF condition penny can be worth anywhere from $50 to $100. A mint state or MS coin in excellent condition can fetch anywhere between $500 to $1,000. The highest values are for graded MS67 or higher coins, which can be worth $1,500 to $2,500 or even more, depending on the exact circumstances. Now, you're probably wondering, could this coin be worth $1 million? While a single 2009 no mint mark penny isn't likely to hit the $1 million mark right now, there have been rare coins in history that have sold for astronomical prices. So anything's possible if the right buyer comes along and the coin is in perfect condition. Let's talk about the market for rare coins and investment potential. Over the years, we've seen that rare coins, especially those with minting errors, can appreciate in value over time. For example, coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel and the 1943 copper penny have sold for millions of dollars. While the 2009 no mint mark penny isn't in the same league as those record breakers just yet, it's definitely a coin to keep an eye on. If you happen to find one in your pocket change or at a local coin shop, don't sell it right away without getting it appraised. As coin collectors and investors become more aware of these rare pennies, the market value could climb. So, how can you check if you have one of these rare coins? It's actually pretty simple. Start by looking at the reverse side of the coin, where you'll typically find the mint mark under the word E pluribus unum. If there's no mint mark, then you've got yourself a 2009 no mint mark penny. Next, check the coin's condition. If it's still in good shape and looks like it hasn't been worn down too much, it's even more valuable. So, to wrap it up, while the 2009 no mint mark penny isn't currently worth $1 million, it's certainly a rare find that could fetch you a solid price in the collector's market. Whether it's $100 or $2,500, it's still a coin that could be worth far more than you originally thought. So, the next time you're checking your pocket change or sorting through a coin jar, be sure to keep an eye out for this little treasure. Who knows, you could be holding onto a rare piece of American history. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, And ring the bell for more coin tips, rare finds, and everything else in the world of numismatics. 1973 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that holds more value than its face value. So, if you're wondering about its current market value or if it could be worth millions, then stick around because you won't want to miss this. First, let's start with a bit of background. The 1973 D penny is part of the ongoing series of 1-cent coins featuring Abraham Lincoln, which have been minted since 1909. The D Mint mark refers to the coin's production at the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's primary facilities. But even though it seems like a simple coin, there are factors that can make a 1973 D penny stand out. The U.S. Mint's Denver facility is where billions of coins have been produced, and while the 1973 D penny was minted in significant numbers, certain characteristics of specific coins can make them more valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the basic features. The 1973 D penny, like most modern Lincoln pennies, is made primarily of copper-plated zinc. The obverse side shows a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, we see the classic 1-cent inscription, with the Lincoln Memorial in the background, another iconic feature of the series. When examining your 1973 D penny, here are some things to look out for. First, make sure it's in good condition. The more pristine the coin, the higher its value. Look for clear details on Lincoln's face, the Lincoln Memorial, and the lettering. Now, when it comes to determining the value of your 1973 D penny, condition is key. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 1 being in the worst condition and 70 representing perfect, uncirculated coins. The most common grades for the 1973 D penny will likely be somewhere between fine and MS65, which is mint state grade, showing minimal wear and good eye appeal. For instance, a 1973 D penny in average circulation condition, with some wear and damage, might be worth just a few cents, around its face value of 1 cent. However, a coin that is in excellent condition with sharp details could fetch between 10 to 50 cents, depending on the specific market demand. But here's where things get interesting. While the 1973 D penny isn't typically considered rare, there are certain rare varieties or errors that can significantly increase its value. Some collectors focus on specific die errors, such as doubling on the letters or numbers, off-center strikes, or the infamous close AM or wide AM varieties found on certain Lincoln Memorial pennies from different years. For the 1973 D penny, keep an eye out for any doubling in the lettering or unusual details, as they could be an error that might increase its market value. If you happen to find one of these error pennies, it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to even hundreds of dollars, depending on the rarity and condition. Let's get down to the most exciting part, the market value. A typical 1973 D penny in circulated condition, with wear and tear, is generally worth only its face value of 1 cent. But if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition, it can be worth anywhere from 10 to 50 cents, and that's not including any error coins that may surface. But hold on, certain rare varieties or coins in exceptional condition have sold for much more. For example, a 1973 D penny with an identifiable doubling error could fetch anywhere from $5 to $100 or even more depending on the error and condition. The key to understanding the true worth of your coin lies in its rarity and condition. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Could your 1973 D penny be worth $1 million? Well, the answer is, not likely. While there are extreme cases where certain coins have sold for astonishing amounts, the 1973 D penny is not typically one of those. However, error coins or those in pristine condition with significant collector interest could go for a lot more than you'd expect. While it's improbable for a 1973 D penny to be worth $1 million like some rare coins have been, the world of numismatics is unpredictable. So if you think you've found something special, get it appraised and consider submitting it for grading. Who knows? You might be holding on to something more valuable than you think. So, there you have it. The 1973 D Abraham Lincoln penny might not be worth a fortune, but it could still have some hidden value depending on its condition, error types, and collector interest. Always keep an eye out for those unique features, and if you find something that stands out, don't hesitate to get it professionally appraised. 1991 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Trust me, you don't want to miss this, because this penny could be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. So, grab your magnifying glass, let's dig into the details. The 1991 Lincoln cent is an interesting piece of U.S. coinage. For collectors and numismatists, pennies are more than just pocket change, they're treasure troves of history. The 1991 penny, however, isn't just any ordinary coin. Normally, pennies minted in the U.S. are marked with a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But what makes the 1991 Lincoln penny unique is the absence of a mint mark. And that, my friends, is where the story gets really interesting. Alright, so how does a penny end up without a mint mark? Was it a mistake, or is it some kind of rare error coin? Well, let's talk about that. The US Mint usually places a mint mark on coins to indicate where they were made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But for some unknown reason, a small batch of 1991 Lincoln pennies was produced without this mint mark. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors because they represent a rare anomaly in the mint's production process. So how do you identify a 1991 no mint mark penny? It's actually pretty simple once you know what you're looking for. Take a look at the obverse side of the penny, which is the side with Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Normally, right beneath the date, you'd expect to see a mint mark D or S. But in the case of the 1991 no mint mark penny, this spot is blank. You're going to want to compare it with other 1991 pennies from the same year. The difference is subtle, but with a keen eye you'll spot it. Now let's talk money, because we all want to know how much this error coin is worth. As of now, the value of a 1991 no mint mark penny can vary, depending on its condition, the rarity of the find, and where it's being sold. A coin in average circulated condition might be worth anywhere from $5 to $20, definitely more than face value, but not quite a jackpot yet. However, if the coin is in mint or uncirculated condition, its value can rise dramatically. We're talking about the possibility of $50 to $100 or even more, depending on the demand from collectors. Now, for those truly rare finds, let's say you come across a pristine 1991 no mint mark penny in mint condition. It could fetch a price in the thousands of dollars in the right auction. Some collectors are willing to pay top dollar for rare, error coins like this one. Imagine finding this penny in your spare change and turning it into a small fortune. Now, what about the million-dollar question? Could this penny ever be worth $1 million? It's a long shot, but not impossible. The coin world has seen some surprising sales in the past. For example, the 1943 copper penny, a rare error coin, sold for over $1 million at auction. Though it's highly unlikely for a 1991 no mint mark penny to reach such astronomical numbers, there's always a chance that an uncirculated, near-perfect specimen could set a new record. Million-dollar sales are typically reserved for coins that are part of extremely rare categories, like coins with mistakes that only a handful exist. For the 1991 no mint mark penny, the potential for it to become a $1 million coin depends on the market's interest, its rarity in higher grades, and who's willing to pay for it. So, while we're not quite there yet, you never know what might happen. So, to wrap things up, while your 1991 no mint mark penny may not be worth a fortune just yet, it's certainly an exciting piece of history that could bring in a pretty penny, pun intended. If you happen to find one in your pocket change, you've got a rare treasure on your hands. If you're looking for more tips on how to spot valuable coins or dive deeper into the world of rare numismatics, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny, or if you think the 1991 no mint mark penny will ever reach that $1 million mark. 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This little penny might seem like just another coin, but it's got a secret, one that could make you a lot richer than you ever expected. So, what exactly is the 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny? Well, to start with, every penny minted in the United States typically has a mint mark. It's a small letter on the reverse side of the coin that indicates which U.S. mint facility produced it. Normally, we see mint marks like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But here's where things get interesting. In 1994, there was a production error. Some pennies were minted without any mint mark at all. This mistake turned out to be quite rare and made these 1994 pennies extremely collectible. Cut back to the host holding a magnifying glass and inspecting a penny. Host: at first glance, these pennies might seem normal, just another year in the Lincoln Memorial Series. But when you look closely and notice that there's no mint mark, that's when you've got a real gem on your hands. Now, you might be wondering just how rare these 1994 no mint mark pennies really are. Well, in 1994, The majority of pennies were minted in either Denver or Philadelphia, with the usual mint marks visible. But the ones without a mint mark are much more scarce. Some estimates suggest that only a small number, less than 1,000, of these coins were ever released into circulation. This low mintage makes the 1994 no mint mark penny highly sought after by collectors. Even though it's not as rare as some other era coins, it's still a very cool piece of numismatic history. How much is this penny worth? Well, the value of a 1994 no mint mark penny can vary widely depending on its condition, whether it's been graded, and how much demand there is in the market. A penny in poor or circulated condition might fetch anywhere from 50 cents to a couple of dollars. But if you have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth much more, potentially in the range of $10 to $20 or even higher, depending on the buyer. However, there's a major difference when we start talking about coins that are graded by professionals, especially those in perfect condition, like MS-67 or higher. These could easily command prices in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how rare and in demand the coin is. Now, we've got to ask the million-dollar question: could this 1994 no mint mark penny ever be worth $1 million? Well, let's just say that it's highly unlikely, but not impossible. Some extremely rare and unique era coins have sold for huge amounts of money, sometimes even over $1 million, at auctions. But this 1994 penny doesn't have the same level of rarity as some of those famous coins. For example, coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel have fetched millions, but they are in a different league altogether. However, if you happen to have one of these pennies in perfect, uncirculated condition and there's a high demand for them in the future, who knows? We might see some big surprises in the market. So how do you know if you've got a 1994 no mint mark penny? It's pretty simple. Just check the reverse side of your penny to see if there's a mint mark below the date. If there's nothing, then you've got yourself an interesting coin to hold on to. If you think you've found one of these, take a closer look at its condition. If it's in great shape, you may want to consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC to determine its value. To sum up, the 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a rare and valuable coin for collectors, with potential value ranging from a few dollars to hundreds, depending on its condition. While it's unlikely to hit the $1 million mark, it's still an exciting find if you come across one. So, if you're a coin collector or just someone who loves hunting for rare finds, keep an eye out for these pennies. Who knows? You might have a small fortune sitting in your pocket right now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more coin tips and fun facts. And leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny or coin. 2001 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you're a coin enthusiast, or even just curious about its value, you're in for a treat. Stick around as we uncover its story, rarity, and the current market value. By the end of this video, you'll know whether this penny could be worth a small fortune. Let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the 2001 no mint mark penny. You might be asking, what makes this penny so special? After all, it's just a regular Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin, right? Well, while most of these pennies from 2001 were minted with a D or P mint mark, some very rare pennies were released that didn't have any mint mark at all. And those are the ones you want to keep an eye out for. In 2001, the US Mint produced pennies at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, with the P mint mark, the Denver Mint, with the D mint mark, and some very unusual coins that came out without any mint mark, despite being struck in Philadelphia. These no mint mark pennies were a mistake, and they didn't have the identifying symbol typically found on most US coins. This error immediately caught the attention of collectors, as it's extremely rare to find a US coin without a mint mark. Mint marks on coins are crucial because they identify where the coin was struck. But in the case of the 2001 penny, the absence of a mint mark has actually become a key factor in its value. A mint mark error means it is not something that was produced intentionally, which is what makes it so exciting and valuable to collectors. So, let's get into the juicy part. How much is this rare penny worth today? A 2001 no mint mark penny can be worth anywhere between $50 to several $100, depending on its condition and whether it has been graded by professional coin grading companies. Uncirculated examples or those with minimal wear could fetch a premium, especially if they're certified by a reputable grading service like the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. But that's not all. Some rare, error coins like this one can increase in value over time, especially if there's growing demand or limited supply. It's important to note that not all 2001 pennies without mint marks are valuable, though. To truly know if yours is the real deal, you need to ensure it's not just a heavily worn-out penny that had its mint mark rubbed off over time. A coin that is misidentified as a no-mint mark penny but is actually just worn down can be worth only a few cents. A certified coin in good condition can be a true investment, as the value can increase over time. Some collectors believe that coins like these could one day be worth even more than they are now, given how rare and unique they are. And if you're holding on to one of these coins that's still in mint condition, you might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. But what about million-dollar coins? What does the 2001 no-mint mark penny have to do with multi-million-dollar coin sales? Well, while this particular penny isn't likely to hit the million-dollar mark anytime soon, there are coins out there that have sold for staggering amounts. For example, in 2013, the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar, considered one of the first official US coins, was sold for over $10 million. So, it's not impossible for rare coins to break into the million-dollar range, especially as collectors continue to bid for these unique treasures. Coins with historical significance, limited mintage, and unique eras have the potential to fetch extraordinary amounts at auctions. The most valuable coins often come from early American history or are one-of-a-kind specimens that collectors will pay top dollar for. In fact, coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, a gold coin, were sold for over $7 million. So, while your 2001 no-mint mark penny may not be worth $1 million just yet, it's still a valuable piece of US coin history. Whether you're looking to start your collection or just wondering if you have a hidden gem in your change jar, keep an eye out for those rare minting errors. They could be worth more than you think. To sum it all up, the 2001 no-mint mark penny is a rare find that could be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s if in good condition. But like with any rare coin, the true value depends on factors like condition, grading, and demand. And who knows, maybe you'll be lucky enough to find one of these elusive error coins yourself. If you enjoyed this video and want more coin collecting tips, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for all the latest updates. 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny and its potential market value. Stick around till the end because we'll also take a look at some other coins that could make you a millionaire. Now, we're all familiar with the iconic Abraham Lincoln penny. It's been around since 1909 and has undergone several changes over the years. But there's one specific penny from 2015 that's been turning heads. This particular coin is noteworthy because it doesn't have a mint mark. But why does that matter, and is it worth something more than face value? Let's take a deeper dive into this. First, let's break down what a mint mark is. Mint marks are small letters placed on coins to indicate where they were minted. In the United States, pennies are usually minted in one of three locations: Philadelphia, which doesn't use a mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, or San Francisco, marked with an S. However, in 2015, some pennies were released with no mint mark, which has raised curiosity and speculation among coin collectors. So, what does this mean for the coin's value? Most pennies in circulation are pretty much worth, well, a penny. However, rare variations like this one can be worth a lot more, depending on their rarity, condition, and the demand from collectors. You might be wondering, if this coin doesn't have a mint mark, could it be worth more than just 1 cent? Let's find out by looking at its current market value. So, how much is the 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth? Well, the answer isn't so straightforward. The value of these coins can vary depending on their condition and how many collectors are looking for them. But here's what we know: a typical 2015 no-mint mark penny, in circulated condition, is worth about 5 to 10 cents. Yes, that's right. It's not worth much more than face value unless it's in pristine condition. But here's the kicker: if you find one in uncirculated or mint condition, it could be worth more. Some collectors have paid up to $1 to $5 for a single uncirculated 2015 no-mint mark penny, especially if it has a high-grade rating from organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. A coin grading scale. From poor to mint condition coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For example, a 2015 penny graded at MS 65, mint state 65, or higher could fetch a significantly higher price. So, in short, While a 2015 no mint mark penny probably won't make you a millionaire overnight, it could be worth a decent amount if you're lucky enough to find one in excellent condition. But it's not just the absence of a mint mark that can make a penny valuable. There are a few key factors that can affect the value of any penny or coin. The fewer of a specific coin there are, the higher its value. The 2015 no mint mark penny is rare in the sense that it's not the standard, but it's not that rare. A coin's condition is a huge factor in determining its worth. A penny that's been through years of wear and tear won't be worth nearly as much as one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition. If collectors are looking for a particular coin, its value can skyrocket. This is often the case with errors or unusual minting variations, like this 2015 no mint mark penny. But let's think bigger for a moment. While the 2015 no mint mark penny might not be a $1 million coin, there are coins out there that are worth a ton of money. And I'm not just talking about gold or silver coins. Sometimes, a rare penny can be worth a fortune. Believe it or not, there are pennies that are worth millions of dollars, and I'm not kidding. One of the most famous examples is the 1943 copper penny. The US Mint made the majority of pennies that year out of steel due to a copper shortage during World War II. However, a few copper pennies were accidentally struck, and they're now worth millions. For example, one 1943 copper penny sold for over $1.7 million at auction in 2010. So yes, it's possible for a penny to be worth $1 million or more, but it's incredibly rare. Other valuable coins include the 1955 double-die penny, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent, and the 1877 Indian head penny, each worth thousands, or even millions, depending on their grade and rarity. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these rare pennies? Well, your best bet is to look for coins with known minting errors, or those from years with significant historical importance. Make sure to check your pennies for errors like doubling, unusual strikes, or missing mint marks. Also, keep an eye out for any coins from key years in US coin history. You'll want to invest in proper coin grading, which can help you determine if your coins are worth more than face value. To wrap it up, while the 2015 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't going to make you a millionaire, it's still a fun coin to look for, and it could be worth more than just a penny, depending on its condition. But if you're really hoping to make a fortune with pennies, it's going to take a bit of luck, knowledge, and patience.